Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Adobe Illustrator to make these cherries. Let's get started. First, go to File, New, or click the Create New button. I'm going to choose Web Minimum, and I'm going to call mine Cherries 2 because I already have one. And I'm going to go down here and click Create. Here's my nice blank document. I'm going to choose the ellipse tool. You can either come over here and click on it, or you can use the keyboard shortcut, which is L. Now I need to change my colors. I will go to Window and Swatches from the alphabetical list. I'll click this side menu and go to Open Swatch Libraries, and I looked through these and I liked the one that was called Nature Flowers. You can choose a different palette of colors if you wish. I'm going to close Swatches and close Color, and I'm going to drag this longer so I can see all the colors. Now I will choose this red right here. Over here in my fill and stroke area, I'm going to click push X on the keyboard and set it to none, and then click X to bring the red fill back forward. Now holding down Shift on the keyboard, I'm going to drag out a circle. That's going to be my cherry. And now I'm going to draw the face. So I'm going to make the eye black, but first I have to deselect this. The keyboard shortcut is Control-Shift-A. And I'll click black and hold down Shift on the keyboard to drag out an eye. Now I'm still holding Shift and I'm still dragging, but while I'm doing that, if you hold down the space bar, it actually lets you move the shape around, which can be really handy. Okay, and let go. Hold down Alt on the keyboard, click right on that little center point and drag a copy. Now I'm going to put a little white gleam in the eye. So to deselect, Control-Shift-A, click on white, and hold down Shift to constrain that to a circle. And if you need to, while you still have Shift held down, you can use the space bar to move that where you want. Now Alt, click on that little spot, little dot in the center, and move your copy where you want it. Deselect, Control-Shift-A. Now let's work on the mouth. I'm going to select black, and I'm going to draw my mouth on the side and then move it over. So hold down Shift to draw a circle, and using the keyboard shortcut M, I'm going to change the ellipse tool to the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle over half of the circle. Using V on the keyboard, which is the selection tool, I'm going to hold down Shift and click so that both of these shapes are selected at the same time. Once they're selected, the Pathfinder options open. I'm going to choose the second one, which is minus front, and that made this little mouth. I think I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because it will be cuter. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. Control-Shift-A to deselect. Now L on the keyboard changes the tool back to the ellipse. I'm going to make the cheeks. So I'll select this pink color here and click and drag out an oval. And remember, if I hold the space bar while I'm still drawing, I can move the cheek around. Hold down Alt, click on that little spot in the center, drag a copy to the side, And there is my cherry finished. So V on the keyboard to change to the selection tool. Draw a selection so that all of the pieces are selected. I'm going to right click and group. Now hold down Alt on the keyboard, click on that little dot in the center, and drag off a copy of the cherry. Now I need a stem, so I'll click to deselect. I'm going to choose this green color for the stem, and I have to switch that to the stroke. So I'm going to use this swapping arrow. I'll just click that. Now the stroke is green and the fill is none. Next I'll select the pen tool, which you can click P on the keyboard, or you can come up here and just click on the pen tool. Now the pen tool, the way it works is you click one time but don't drag. So click, and I'll click up here but don't drag, and then I'll click down here but don't drag. Now you'll notice that there's a little tail on this. To make that stop, push enter or return, and now it's stopped. But you can see that my line is way too skinny. So I'm going to go over here to the appearance panel where it says stroke and it's 1 point. I'm going to guess about 14. Yeah, that looks pretty good. What I'd like to do now is send this stroke behind the cherries. So the keyboard shortcut for that is Control and left bracket. So I'm holding down Control. Left bracket is next to P on the keyboard, so I'll just hit that, and it sent the stem behind. Now I'm going to create the leaf. L on the keyboard switches to the ellipse tool, and I have to deselect it. Control Shift A. Now swapper arrow to make the fill green, and I'll click and drag out a oval. Now I'm going to modify this oval shape to make a leaf. I am going to select the pen tool, P on the keyboard, and you can see this square right here. This is called an anchor point. When I hover the cursor over it, notice how it turns to a minus sign. So I'm going to click right on that spot, and that has been deleted. So it's made it into kind of a smushy leaf-like shape. Now I'm going to get the direct selection tool by pushing A on the keyboard, and I'm going to click on this top anchor point, and you'll notice that these little dots, which are handles, pop up on the side. Now watch carefully, this part can be a little bit tricky. I'm going to click on this dot and drag it a little bit towards this cherry stem, and then I'm going to pull it down back towards the leaf and towards the center of the leaf, and I'll stop right about there. Next I'm going to click this anchor point and drag it a little bit this way, and that looks pretty good as a leaf. Now V on the keyboard for the move tool. I'll hover the cursor around the corners to get the rotation arrow and move this into place. I'm going to make it a little bit of a bigger leaf. Something kind of like that. Looks a little more proportionate. And that's it, everyone. Have fun with your project.